So welcome to this first of the 7 sessions that we are conducting to capacitate our faculty in the field of entrepreneurship. And since this is a trainer's training, I hope you could get more wealth of knowledge here and be able to disseminate, re-echo this in our respective areas in our classes. And again, this is part of the project, as mentioned by Monica from Fisher. The project is the establishment of a startup consortium in Region 10 and Region 13. And one of those activity in fulfilling that project is the capacity building of the CDO Bytes, the Caraga Navigato incubation program, the IDEA incubation program, and all of those who are invited who is planning to put up an incubation program in the region as well. This is, I think, very helpful for you to start with. So again, thank you for joining us here. It will just take 45 minutes of your time today. Okay, back to you, Paula.
Thank you so much, Bronson. Honored to be here with you guys. And I hope I can see you guys face to face. So my goal is to be in the Philippines in the last 2 weeks of April. So yes, I'll be visiting you guys. So please save a few dates for me. Please don't travel anyone in the last 2 weeks. I can meet you guys and visit you at your incubators at the university and meet you guys as well face to face. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So I've built a beautiful presentation for you guys. Just Angie asked me to tell you guys the session is getting recorded. It's getting recorded for the purpose of you watching again if you want to share it with anyone within the community, and also for faculty members that are going to be watching it at their own availability. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd love to invite you and welcome you to our community. So Academspreneurs was created for leaders like you guys who shape the future leaders, our students into entrepreneurs. And we truly believe that everybody has unlimited potential. So we're all diamonds, that all we need to do is constantly polish ourselves. And this is what we've created at Academspreneurs. We bring you guys as teachers, we bring in your students, and we polish your entrepreneurial skills and connect you to more like-minded entrepreneurs so you can continue shining and create a positive impact. So please, please, please connect with us everywhere. I know that you guys absolutely love Facebook in the Philippines. But use LinkedIn, use Instagram, connect with me individually, connect with the whole team at Academspreneurs. Every week, you guys are going to have a different, amazing entrepreneur running the classes. Connect with them, send them messages. We exist to empower you to achieve your goals in transforming your students into entrepreneurs and building the entrepreneurship ecosystem inside the university and also inside the incubator and also inside the whole region. So, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over why we created this program. So we created this program to shape you and your students into problem solvers. The world is full of problems, but you can look at it from a positive point of view where every problem is a business opportunity. We want to shape you into a passionate change maker. So it's not just about passion. It's not about changing the world. It's about both of them together. It's taking action in the things that we love. We also, the goal of this program is to transform you into an emotionally intelligent leader. So a leader that is connected, has self-awareness, but is also aware of the environment around and collaborates and get the best out of everybody so we can create this positive impact. We're also going to turn into a selfless entrepreneur and intrapreneur. So when we are an entrepreneur and intrapreneur, it's not about us, it's about the community. It's about adding value. It's about collaboration as a global team. Part of that is also communicating effectively, because you can have the greatest idea in the world, but you need to communicate it or else nobody will understand. Becoming a creative thinker, so doing things in a different way, but most importantly, we need you guys to take action and be unstoppable. And why is that? Why have we created this specific program for you guys today, which is 7 sessions? Technology and disruption, it's not new. It's happening everywhere. The whole world is getting disrupted, but we still have 805 million people around the world that don't have enough access to food. 150 million kids around the world between the age of 3 to 5 don't have access to education. More than 9 million babies are affected by premature death due to pollution in the regions that they are born. 2.12 billion tons of waste are created every single year. 153 million kids around the world are in orphanages and they need a loving home. There's almost 6% unemployment in the whole world. 92 million tons of textiles from the clothes that we buy and we often don't wear, they are polluting the environment. And as we know, climate change gets worse every single day. And we can't wait for change, we need to create it. So the reason why we've created this program is
International training.
a change maker so that you can change your students, shape them into change makers as well. So together we can achieve our goal of building a loving world as a global community. So how will the program work? So first, we're going to have 6 master classes around entrepreneurship, and I'll go over the skeleton today. Then we're going to teach you how to transform ideas into business. The 7th masterclass is a demo day presentation where you're going to be telling us around how you're going to build the ecosystem in your class, in your faculty, in your university, in your incubator. You will also get a certificate, and the winner with the best idea, and you can work in groups, will get a prize. And as a result, we're going to get to step 4, which is to empower students and build a very strong and positive impact ecosystem for entrepreneurship. We, as humans, we're not job seekers, we're job creators. So we need to shape ourselves into problem solvers that find solutions, create jobs for new colleagues to join our teams in our business or when we're working in the university. So we also have a Facebook group that we'll be sharing with you guys next week, so you guys can collaborate and post your ideas and mentor each other, connect each other, and support each other. So about the program, as Bronson was saying, it's 7 sessions. 6 sessions were the masterclass, and the 7th where we're running a presentation. The session of today is one of my favorite sessions. This is why I'm logging in to teach you guys, and it's on public relations. How are we going to build this ecosystem? So I'm going to be teaching you guys what is public relations. How do you set a strategy to massively transform the region? How do you create a win-win-win strategy where all of your partners win and it's sustainable and for the long term? How do you pitch to win? How do you tell the story of this new movement that we are creating? How do we build community? How do we educate and add value to the community so they stay loyal to us? How do we build this loyalty? How do we negotiate to win? And then at the end, we'll be taking your attendance and also getting feedback. The following week, we're working on emotional intelligence for you to understand yourself and boost your happiness and productivity. The following week, we're going to session 2 of emotional intelligence and productivity because that's the heart of entrepreneurship. Then we're going to be teaching you guys how to collaborate and build a mentoring ecosystem so that hundreds of entrepreneurs are coming to you and they want to be a part of the school, part of the university, part of the course to create the impact. Then we're going to teach you how to commercialize. How do you transform these beautiful ideas into a business that has paying customers, which is a big gap that we have in the education system. We talk a lot about ideas, but a lot of students get stuck on the idea. So we're going to train you on how to mold the students to take the steps so that they can find customers and develop the right goals to progress every day. Then we're going to teach you how to do business around the world, which is something when I was speaking to Bronson over the last few months, he was saying, I want our community to do business not just in the Philippines and also around the world. So we're going to be teaching you some very important techniques. And finally, in the last stage, you guys are going to pitch to us your strategy on how we as a community are going to build a strong ecosystem to have the best entrepreneurs, the best ideas molded, commercializing in the Philippines and growing around the world. So at the end of the program, you guys are becoming the entrepreneurs. We as Academy of Entrepreneurs have no teachers and have no rules. So all of the classes are going to be taught by entrepreneurs like myself, and there's no rule. In the final pitch, you can work in groups of however many people you want. So if you want to grab 10 friends and work together with your colleagues, you can. If you want to present your ideas individually, you also can, because that's life. Life is about problem solving, and life is about us finding solutions. It doesn't matter how you get to the solution. In the final presentation, you can do it individually or as a group. So now let's get started. So today we're going to be learning about public relations and how to build strong partnership and the partnership ecosystem. So we position ourselves as leaders, but most importantly, we have successful leaders coming to us. We won't soon have to knock on doors asking entrepreneurs to come and mentor and invest in our students. They will just naturally come to us because we build their very strong public relations. So just a little reminder, today's session is done on Zoom. It is getting recorded. So if you want to ask any questions, pop them in the chat box, and also please turn on your microphones and cameras so we can guide you and engage with you and help you. So I have no rules to the way that I run my masterclasses, so you guys feel free to turn on your microphone if you've got a question. If you want to show me your beautiful smile, you're also very welcome. And I will be doing some activities along the day today with you guys. So just come in, ask me questions, and I'll shape your ideas, challenge you maybe, and help you succeed more and more every single day. So, ready to start? Thumbs up if you're ready to start. I want to see some thumbs up here in the chat box if you're ready to start. Happy faces, because we're going to change the Philippines and change the world through what we're learning today. Before we start, any questions? Does anyone want to say anything?
120.
Any questions? No questions? Cool, awesome. So let me get started. So public relations and partnership. So why are we learning about public relations and partnership? Because once we build a strong image and message to the world, we're going to grow our entrepreneurship ecosystem. Public relations is an art. The same way that you see a painting, you see a jewelry, and there's no perfection. You can always get better, but there's always beauty in it, and it can always become more beautiful. So it is unique public relations. We can today, as a group of 100 teachers, come up with 100 different ideas on how we want to showcase the amazing work that we're doing through education to shape our students into entrepreneurs, to attract more investors and entrepreneurs. And public relations is the art of communicating. It's how do you talk from your heart into someone else's heart and head. But how do you communicate and get what you want? So how do you say the right words? The same way that we as kids used to ask our grandparents for things that they used to give to us, it's the same way when we are convincing the students, and it's the same way when we are talking to entrepreneurs. So how do you communicate and get what you want? By telling them your mission, vision, and value as a university, as an incubator that wants to rebuild the economy over in the Philippines. So why are we starting today by talking about public relations and not about entrepreneurship and emotional intelligence and anything else? Because public relations helps brands bring stories to life. It increases the brand credibility. People start hearing and they start agreeing, believing, and they join the ecosystem. It enhances your media relations. So hopefully, imagine if every week we have one of your students on television or radio or featured on a Facebook group. It helps you to engage with the community. It helps you to strengthen your relationship with the industry and the government. It helps you attract the market and also helps you get leads. So Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, the creator of Microsoft, once said, if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations, because it's all about the image. If you effectively look after your image, the world looks after you. Public relations is about raising your company's authority and building relationship with people and managing your reputation. So we as educators, as universities, as incubators, we need to look after our image. So we are respected and we get given benefits, solutions, and favors because the world understands what we're doing and they're going to donate the time and knowledge to be able to help us. So how is advertising different to public relations? When you're advertising, you say, we are a great university. when we are doing public relations, the world says they're a really good university, they're really good teachers, they're really good incubators. Can you see the difference? Which one are you going to buy something from? Are you going to buy something from a university that says we're the best? Or would you buy something from a university where everybody's saying that they're the best? Which one would you choose? Obviously public relations, because public relations you can't control. You can inspire and mold, but you can't control, because you're touching people's hearts and you're letting them talk about you in the world. So who are you as a leader, as a faculty member at the university? And how do you want to be known when you're not in the room, when you're not inside the university? Say you take your kids to play soccer. Say you go to the supermarket and you bump into someone. When you walk away, how do you want the people behind your back to talk about you? Do you want them to say that you're kind, happy, future focused, creating a positive impact? You're an amazing teacher that has built the award-winning business owner of the Philippines. How do you want to be known by everybody? Because when we see Hollywood artists, we can hear their voice even by not hearing the voice, because they've got a strong brand. When we see a brand, look at these two different airlines. If I need to go from Manila to Cebu, I can go with many different airlines. But if I choose to fly Cebu Pacific, I know it's going to be fun and affordable. But if I choose Philippine Airlines, I know they're more serious and reliable. My bags, and one gives me more confidence. The other one, the quality of the food. One airline is often more in time than the other. But if I'm on holidays, Cebu Pacific is fine. But if I'm flying over to sign a $1 million business deal, I might fly Philippine Airlines because I need an airline that can get me there on time. At the end of the day, both airlines are getting you from Manila to Cebu, but they have different prices and different promises to its customers. So we as educators, there's different universities around the world. Every university promises something different, but you guys from today onwards are going to promise success for your students from an entrepreneurial perspective. So how are we going to create this image like Cebu Pacific and Philippines Airlines that take you to your end goal, which is to get to another island? How are you going to get the students to become an entrepreneur? And what is the image that you want to show to the world? Similar to the little black dress, we often hear as girls that every girl needs to have a little black dress to go to events. But different dresses mean different things. The Kim Kardashian dress, completely different to the Penelope Cruz, elegant, trustworthy. Also, when we see world leaders, there's the elegant, there's the kind, there's the charismatic world leader that we've seen on television. All of them are great leaders in different ways, but they all communicate something different by the way they walk and talk and dress and use the language, the body language, the verbal and non-verbal communication. It takes 7 seconds from the moment someone meets you to decide whether they like you or not. 7 seconds. So when someone meets you, when you're talking about the projects that you're doing at the university, you have 7 seconds to shine in front of them. You have to shine with the right light. And what light do you want to show? So I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds. And this is personal. You're not going to share with anyone. But write down on a piece of paper or on your phone or on your laptop, how do you want to be known? When you're not in the room, how do you want people to describe you? How are you making the world a better place? We're all educators. We all care about positive impacts. But how do you want the world to talk about you when you are not in the room? So I'll give you guys 60 seconds and you're not going to share this with anyone. It's very private.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
30 more seconds. Next one. This is a little bit deeper, and this one I would love if you guys could share on the chat box. What is the public relations image and goal for the university? So when you, again, bump into someone at the supermarket, at the local market, when you're jumping on a bus, when you're at the parking lot, and you go to the park with your family, how do you want to talk about the university and the incubator that you're running? What do you want people to think about? What are the key words? Do you want to talk about the most disruptive university? The university that produced the most amount of award-winning entrepreneurs? The university that builds tech entrepreneurs that are into technology? The university that builds social impact entrepreneurs? The university that rebuilds the economy of the Philippines? What is the image that you would like everyone to have in their heads when they think of the university and also of the incubator? So please pop it in the chat box and then I'm going to read it. Is reliable technology solutions of providers. Thank you, Maria. That's a very good one. Can everyone else put their also ideas on how do you want USTP to be known? How do you want Navigato to be known? What are the keywords when you're not in the room? How do you want people to talk about it? So please think for a minute and just write down. I want all of you guys writing down. And it could be one word. A positive pace, the innovation. It could be about making money. It could be about creating jobs. It could be about the university that gets the most amount of investors. The university that has made the most amount of Filipinos travel overseas and grow the business. What do you want? So I can see there's 54 of us logged in. Catalyst for innovation and inclusive development. Beautiful, Stephen. That's amazing. Imagine when you're not in the room, everyone just goes, wow, Stephen works at the university that is catalyzing innovation and inclusive development. The people that are saying these positive words are feeling good. Stephen is feeling good. The students are going to be proud. Industrial technologists. Thank you. That's also very good, Rich. What else? Technopreneurship. The game changers. Love it. Producer of high quality and competent graduates. Amazing. What does Denzer, what does high quality and competent graduates mean? Does that mean that they've created their own jobs, that they've created jobs for others, that they've eliminated world hunger, that they've built an app that is now used by all Filipinos to bank around the world? They are the movers. Yes, June. Movers, shakers, doers. Love it. What else? A community development transportation through social enterprise. Amazing. Because the best way for us to rebuild the communities is through social entrepreneurship. What else? I want to see another 10 answers. Innovative in terms of utilizing waste and commodity. Fantastic, Jemay. Fantastic. What else? Change agent. I love it. Produce of social responsible entrepreneurs. Theology solutions, amazing. Advanced innovation technology solutions with empathy. That's very beautiful. Because the only way we're building technology that works is if we have empathy. Because we can't build technology just for the sake of building. That's very good, Mark. Anyone else? How do you want the world to talk about the work that you're doing? Best human capital generator. Love it. Producer in science, arts, and technology. Fantastic. Reliable and creative products by the students. Awesome. Perfect. Keep posting. And if you have ideas while I'm talking, just post it in there, because we can all imagine if we use all of these very impactful words that you guys have created all into one key message. So Warren Buffett, one of the richest investors of our generation, says it takes 20 years for you to build a reputation, for people to talk about you in these beautiful words that you guys are using. But it takes 5 minutes for you to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. So from today onwards, when you walk out of your house, even if it's go to the park or the supermarket, walk out like a leader. When you walk into class, give your students everything. Every day, you need to live and breathe confidence, innovation. You need to be proud of what you're doing. Everyone makes fun of me. When I go to the supermarket, I wear heels. And everyone's just like, why are you wearing heels? And I'm like, because it's my image. I want to be respected as an innovative girl boss that has it under control and is always future focused. So if I'm talking about innovation and I'm not dressed well, will people associate me with that? They'll stop associating it because it takes 20 years for you to build a reputation and 5 minutes for you to ruin it. So from today onwards, I want you guys to look and sound and act like leaders every day. From the moment you wake up, shine. Please, please, please. And remember, everyone's watching. And you never know. If you're badly dressed and you bump into a friend, they might associate you as not the leader that works at the university. If you get caught on a Facebook photo and you're not looking your best, that will destroy your image and the image of the university and the incubator you work in. So look after your image every single day. And think 3 times before you do, post, or say anything, because people don't forget. People will always remember how you made them feel. It's those first 7 seconds. You need to be a kind, future-focused leader every day. And it's really easy. Just do it from the heart, be genuine. But think before you act. Because if you misuse one word, if you underdress for one session, if you make one wrong Facebook post, it can destroy the image. You can lose your job. The investors might stop investing and mentoring your students. So please be careful with everything you do. How do you want the world to know you? How do you want the world to know your expertise as a university? Your tone of voice as an incubator. Incubators are cool, right? But are you going to be the incubator that is too tech and no one understands? Or you want to be the humble future focused incubator that is about creating social enterprise through technology? So a brand is more than a symbol and a logo or a name. It's a combination of communication experiences. And every context someone has with your organization, by the way you look and dress, by the way you talk, the Facebook posts that you personally make and the university makes, the flyers, the learning material, what your students say about you, all of that has a huge impact. All of that. Let me just admit them. So you don't own your brand. It resides on the mind of everybody else. People are absolutely overwhelmed with information these days. So you need to be consistent on your flow. And this is why the way you walk and talk and dress are all interconnected. So it is said right now in the world, it takes between 7 to 20 interactions with your brand before someone buys something from you. But in our case, we're not selling them something. Yes. We're shaping the future leaders. So you want to be the best in front of your students, the best in front of the mentors, the best in front of the government, so we can all collaborate and rebuild the Philippines. And if you don't clearly define who you are, this is why I was asking you first, who are you? How do you want people to talk about you when you're not in the room? How do you want people to talk about the amazing job that you have, the amazing university and the incubator when you're not in the room? Because if you don't clearly define and work towards your tone of voice, your body language, and your messaging all being aligned, people will connect the wrong dots, and it might not be the dots that you want to have. So we have 4 brands to manage as a team from today onwards. Our manage our brands as we, the university and the incubator, our community, the impact that we have in the community, ourselves, and also the concept, which is what I'm going to be working with you guys today. What is the concept? What's the mission, vision, and values you want to share with the world? Cool. Any questions? Anyone? Let me just check the chat box. Globally competitive entrepreneurs. Premier, love the university, creating entrepreneurial mindset and graduates with investable innovations. I love that, Frank. That's so good. Because it's not just about ideas, it's ideas that are investable. Everyone always says, I want money, money, money into my startup, but are there investable ideas? That's genius. Cool, awesome. So now I'm going to be talking to you guys about MTP. So MTP stands for Massive Transformative Purpose. We have entered this new era of business where we all as individuals can create a huge impact in the world. And this is an example. Google was created by 2 guys with a laptop. Facebook was created by another 2 guys and a laptop. In the last 10 years, we have absolutely disrupted the way we absorb information, engage, connect, and socialize. The founders of Google and Facebook were able to transform the world and their business, not because their laptops had superpowers, but because they had a vision. They had a massive transformative purpose. They had a purpose to why they existed. And I'll give you guys an example. When Google created their MTP, the massive transformative purpose was to reorganize the world's information. That was the goal. But if you think about it, when Google started, we had the dictionary and the encyclopedia, which kind of already organized the world, right? But they wanted to disrupt the way that we organize. They wanted us to be able to Google and find any products, use Google Maps when we are lost, rate businesses, and that's the way of organizing the quality of the business. So their purpose was bigger than anything else that existed. But it's not that Google created an algorithm and went to organize the world's information. They decided to reorganize the world's information, then created Google, and now are creating the impact. So you guys as leaders now need to make a decision. What is the massive transformative purpose you want to give to the world through the university and the incubator? So MTPs give us a focus and a direction. And I would love us, by the time we get to the 7th session, we are all, as a global community, agreeing on one core message. And this message will transform all of the Philippines, because the best investors, the best entrepreneurs are going to come to you and collaborate and support your students so they can succeed. So now we're going to be doing this activity. So the first activity, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. And I want you guys to say, why do you want to build the entrepreneurial ecosystem? Why is it important? And I'll give you guys 5 minutes to answer that. So you'll go, why do I want to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem? I want to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem because we need to rebuild the economy of the Philippines. And then we go, why do we rebuild the economy of the Philippines? Because the economy of the Philippines has been affected by typhoons, volcanoes, COVID, and many other things in the last 3 years. And why do we need to fix that? Because we Filipinos deserve to have the best of everything. Every Filipino deserves to have a loving family, food on the table, a decent house, and really good quality education technology. And why do we need to do that? Because when you have access to food, to a home, to technology, you have peace in your head and in your heart, so you can make the best decisions to help other countries, so we can eliminate world hunger, lack of education, and inequality. And why is that important? Because every human being deserves to have an amazing life. Therefore, we are shaping students into entrepreneurs to give everybody the possibility of having everything they deserve. So that could be an example. So go and write, why are you joining this program today? Why is entrepreneurship so important for the Philippines? And answer the question why 5 times, but it's not why 5 different answers, it's going why deeper. So as soon as you put one sentence, you challenge yourself on the why on that one, and then you go deeper into it and deep. Like a kids, when you tell them you have to eat and they go why, and then you answer and they go why, and why, the same thing, we're going to answer the question why. Sustainable income. Awesome, Vanessa. So please answer that. And then I'll give you guys 5 minutes to do that. Okay, we have 2 more minutes. Let me know if you guys have any questions with this task and understanding why is it that we need to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem? Why is it so important for us? Cool. Our 5 minutes is over. Does anyone want to turn on the microphones and share with us what they put in the 5 whys of why entrepreneurship is so important and why we are working as a community to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the universities and also in the incubators? Does anyone want to share? No? Cool. Okay. If you guys want to share afterwards, you can contact me on Instagram, LinkedIn. Let me know because I'm here to help you guys. So now, on the left side, I'll give you guys another 5 minutes. Write down the big problem. What is our big problem and why is entrepreneurship so important? Is it because jobs don't exist? Is it because technology has disrupted our jobs and technology is cheaper than hiring someone? Is it because students don't want to get a job anymore? Is it because we need to solve so many problems around the world that have come up in the last 10 years due to the multiple disasters that we've had? So what is the big problem that we have at the moment that we need entrepreneurship? And write down 10 ideas on how we can solve. So how are we going to solve? Are we going to create mentoring programs, new courses? Are we going to start an incubator for every faculty? Are we going to take students on study tours around the world so that they can meet the leaders and be inspired? Are we going to maybe create an internship program where every student has to intern in a startup that is creating a positive impact in the region? So stay here, the big problem that we have on why we need entrepreneurship. So why do we need it? What is the problem we're solving? Because we are as leaders, we solve problems. What is the problem we're solving? And give just 10 ideas on how we can solve and create more entrepreneurs. What are the channels and strategies we can use to create more entrepreneurs? So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. And this activity actually will super help you with the activity on week 7. Okay, we have 1 more minute. Cool. So does anyone want to tell and share with us your ideas around the solutions to this problem that we're working together towards solving? And I want to solve this problem with you guys in the next 12 months. I want to make sure that we're all talking and breathing entrepreneurship all day long in every class, in every conversation, inside the university, in the incubator, in our homes, in the streets, everywhere. So how are we going to do it, guys? Do you guys want to pop in the box a few ideas of your solutions? So how are we going to solve the problem of building the entrepreneurship ecosystem? Mentoring groups, events? Come on, I'm helping you guys. Please put it in the chat box. Just put it here. Curriculum mismatch solved by redefining curriculum. Amazing, Rich. We are going to be teaching you guys about that. So yes, you guys are going to be learning some super easy and free tricks to absolutely disrupt the curriculum in a way that it matches the reality of the world. Main problem is mindset. Yes, Stephen, I agree with you 1000%. Solution, invite experts. Yes. Success stories. Yes. Youth movements and development, yes. International exposure, 100%. Cross-cultural sharing, yes. Integrating curriculum, yes. And you can integrate, Stephen, into everyday's curriculum. Every day you can have guest speakers. Every day you can make it entrepreneurial. Co-mentoring, 100%. And talking about co-mentoring, Stephen, you can get mentors to mentor, but you can also get your students to mentor each other. So it's not just about getting external, your students can start mentoring each other on their experience. Sustainable partnership, awesome, I love it. Wow, you guys are amazing. Who else wants to share? Come on, one more. Look, just here on Stephen's list and Rich's list, you guys have all of the solutions here. Now it's about building strategy for it. But we need to build a strategy around one core message. And what is that one core message? I'd love for you guys to work with Bronson over the next few days before we meet for the next session on understanding what is the one core message we want to share with the world. Cool, awesome. Okay, so the final part of this activity is when it combines everything. So we now know the problem that we need to bring entrepreneurship. But why do we need to have entrepreneurship in the curriculum? Now that we know the problem and solutions, how are we going to fix these problems? How are we going to contribute? And most importantly, is our MTP. What is our massive transformative purpose? Our massive transformative purpose is to connect students to world leaders, to disrupt technology. Is our massive transformative purpose to build the Philippines' strongest entrepreneurship ecosystem, to build social enterprises that tackle all of the struggles that we have in the Philippines? Is our MTP to shape students into leaders that scale businesses overseas, I don't mind what you guys choose, but you guys, as a community for the region, are going to have to choose one core message. And once we decide on this core message, we will then use the same color, same fonts, same words, same focus. So all of us, when we wake up in the morning, we know what we're fighting towards. So what is our MTP? So this is the task that you guys have as a team to discuss and make a decision for next week. How are we going to massively transform the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the region? And what is the one core sentence that we're going to give out into the world when we talk to people? So I'm going to share with you guys here. This is a very interesting article that summarizes what we've just learned in regards to MTP. So please read this. Not now, later, but it's a really good reading, and it's a really good article actually. Everything that I'm teaching you guys so far, you can actually run with students for them to start the business, understanding the problem and how they're massively going to transform the world. Cool. Okay. So let me teach you guys a trick to success. So we're talking about massively transforming the world. But how do we do it? For us to massively transform the world, we need to collaborate. And collaboration is about creating a win-win-win situation. So we have heard many times about win-win. I win, you win. Entrepreneurship is not about two groups winning. It's about three or more. Let me give you guys an example. The agreement of a win-win-win is for everybody. The outcome is that all parties involved are successful in achieving the goals, but we all have different goals. So let's look at the win-win-win. We, as a university and incubator, need to win. The students need to win, but the mentors and the ecosystem also needs to win. So I'll give you guys an example of what people are looking for. Universities, we want more students, we want better branding, and we want to be the creators of intellectual property and new ideas for the world. Students, they want to meet leaders. They want new opportunities because they're starting their career. They want to network. They want to succeed, and they want access to investment. And investors and mentors, they want public relations exposure. So they come in and mentor because they want their faces shown. They want to give back because it feels good. It makes them feel young. Often when we speak to entrepreneurs that are supporting the students, it makes them feel young. But also, a lot of mentors are going to come and mentor your students because they want to hear about the idea so that they can invest and acquire those solutions for their own business or their investment portfolio. So when we are talking to mentors, when we're talking to governments, we need to understand, how do we make everybody win for the long term? What is our interest? What is our goal as a university, as an incubator? What is the student's goal? And what is the mentor and investor's goal? And once you've got them all interconnected and everybody winning, and you're clearly communicating in alignment with your massive transformative purpose, that's when everybody will win, and that's when organically things start growing. Because most important is for everybody to win together sustainably for the long term. Cool. So now what I want to talk to you guys about is storytelling. So when we are building a business or a new movement within the university, we're telling stories. And stories are the easiest way for people to understand what we're doing, and for them to not only understand, but connect, believe, join our movement in the win-win-win, but also tell the world about it. So in the world today, there's content everywhere. There's new channels of communication being created all the time. There's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, WeChat. There's so many channels. But our audiences are becoming more sensitive and demanding. They don't have much patience. So they go in and they get distracted. If they don't like what they are seeing, they dislike, they comment on it. So how can you create content that connects with entrepreneurs and governments and starts building an ecosystem, a community of entrepreneurship for the university and the incubator. Storytelling is the process of using facts in a very exciting way, in a very engaging way. Why do we tell stories? For many reasons. We tell stories to sell, to entertain, or to educate. In our case, even though we're educators, we're selling the idea of us building an entrepreneurship ecosystem. So we are promoting, we need people to join, to buy into our idea. Even though we're not physically selling them something, we're selling them the idea of join our mentoring program, help our students, because we are, and then you talk about the goal in alignment with the MTP. So why is storytelling important? Because stories are more compelling than businesses. People remember the story, not the business. People can relate emotionally to a story. When someone tells us a story, we remember the story and we connect with it. And stories simplify. So they make a complex idea or product be simplified in a simple way. Stories need to be entertaining, educational, universal, organized, and memorable. So that means that when we're sharing a story, people need to get excited about it. It needs to make sense because it's educational. Universal, anyone can understand. It's organized in a structure, but most importantly, you want people to remember. So over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some storytelling techniques. Storytelling cannot be boring, cannot be long, and cannot be about sales targets and just going, please join me because I need you to join me so I can hit my target. That's not a story. A story is talking about why you joined the university. Story talking about what you learned in today's class and how we together as a community have the goal of creating an impact. A story is us talking about our students that have succeeded and the leaders that inspire them along the way. So these are the 6 components of storytelling. Please take notes because these little 6 simple steps would super help you with the final activity on week 7. So in the stories, we have the audience. Who are we communicating? Are we communicating with our family, with our students, with our boss, with the government, with entrepreneurs, with investors? Who are we speaking to? Second is, why are we speaking to them? What do we want out of them? How can you sprinkle your personal story? 4th is, how do you build a structure and you script it? 5th is, how you're visually going to support it. And 6th is the speaker and the communication techniques you're going to be using. Number 1, audience. So they say that not knowing your audience is like writing a letter and not knowing who you're writing to and not even having a place to send it to. So who is listening? Gen Zs, millennials, baby boomers, potentially baby boomers because we're inviting them to be mentors. Are they experts or amateurs in what they do? Experts, right? Because we want the best to come in to talk to our students. Do you need to come across as more professional or friendly? I think as educators, we need to be a combination of both. We need to be professional, but we also need to be friendly because we have purpose in what we're doing and people will connect with us if we are friendly. Do you want the audience? Do you know the audience or are they strangers? So is it the first time that you're speaking to someone or you already know them? Are they maybe your neighbor's friends? How are you going to communicate with them? How well do you know them? How well do they know you? And have things like, have they been sitting down for hours? So maybe invite them for a coffee walk. If everyone's doing meetings online, maybe change it to a telephone. How can you do something in a different way so you get their attention and you're not just one more person in the routine of the day? And always remember that when we are communicating, we need to communicate with empathy. Number 2 is the objective. What is our goal? What do you want people to think, feel, know, or do after you've spoken to them about the story of what we're doing and why they should help us build the entrepreneurship ecosystem? And what do you want the audience to take away? Are they going to take away the idea of joining up, the idea of them connecting us to their friends, the idea of them checking their finances to see what business they're going to be investing in. So what is it when you communicate with everybody that you're trying to get these investors, these entrepreneurs to do for you? Always, when we are telling a story, focus on one idea. Don't ask someone for 3 favors. Ask them for one. And after they give them the one favor, a few weeks later, you can ask for another favor. So I know that we have a huge mission of building entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurship ecosystem within the region, but stick to one idea. What is it? Do you want the entrepreneur to be a mentor, an investor, a speaker, or to give you introductions? It doesn't matter, but ask them for just one thing. Then, when we are communicating, we need to have a hook. Stories bring people together and they need to inspire and motivate and create change. So it's not the same to sell a product than to tell a story of why the product changed you forever. So say, for example, you see a book and you go, cool, this book has a beautiful cover and it says it's the best book. But if your neighbor bought that book and tells you how after they bought that book, the next month they got a promotion and the next year they had made $1 million, it's a story and it's interesting and you want to know more and you want to be a part of it. So when we tell a story, people remember. And your most successful story to tell will be the success story of your students. That will be the most. Because if the government, the entrepreneurs, the investors hear that you guys are producing very successful entrepreneurs and you can just share stories, they're going to come to you. But if you don't have the script organized with stories in an engaging way and you're communicating with empathy towards what they want to hear in a way that they're solving a problem, but they're also winning in the situation, you won't get any results. So what will your audience experience when you're telling the story? So if you're super excited about your student that has just won an award or has sold his first contract overseas, or has designed a solution that is saving lives, if you share it with excitement, everybody will get excited. So when you are talking, what is the experience you're bringing into the room? And remember that when we're talking, we need to touch people's emotions. And if we touch people's emotions, they're going to remember and they're going to come in and help you by coming and mentoring the students, donating the knowledge, expertise, and also context. Number 4, when we're sharing a story, is structuring it. So stories are part of our everyday. If we look back in history, if we go into old caves, people used to write stories on the walls of caves. And that's what we continue to do. Instagram, Facebook, we share stories of the photos of what we're doing. The news, it's stories. So how are you going to share the story of the university's achievements, of your goals, of the history of our timeline, of all of the progress that we're having on the entrepreneurs that we're shaping? So how are you planning on communicating, in a formal or colloquial way? So before you work on the content and work on your audience, on your skeleton, the most important thing for you to know is who is the audience. So when we start speaking to entrepreneurs, who's the audience? The entrepreneurs. What do they care about? Are they sustainability entrepreneurs? So maybe you talk about the stories about your sustainability students. Are they agriculture entrepreneurs? Then you talk about your agriculture students. So how can you link it to the audience in a way that the story flows? So when we watch a movie, the movie has a takeoff, then it has always the challenge, then the climax, then the resolution, and then it has the key takeaways. And this is what we're going to be doing when we are communicating our story. 5th is visual support. When we are communicating, we need to visually give support as well. So these are 10 tips that you will use when you're sending pitch decks and you will use this for your final activity. First, one idea per slide, then a clean background, very few elements so it doesn't confuse the audience, like in this image. Don't put too much in one. Illustrate, make it very simple. Use big text, and the less amount of words, the better it is. Don't put too much animation and movement. Use shocking images that capture attention. Stick to 2 typographies maximum, because too many gets very confusing. Stick to 2 colors only, and keep it as simple as possible. So, perfection is achieved not when there's nothing more to add, but rather when there's nothing more to take away. And lastly, the speaker, you guys, the communicators that are communicating with the students, with the industry, with the entrepreneurs. 93% of what we say is non-verbal communication, 93%. So when you're speaking, you need to be very genuine, because people can read without you even talking. Don't memorize. Know why you love your job. Know why you care about building the entrepreneurship in the university. Breathe. Use different tones of voices. Show your excitement when you're excited. Show your concern when you're concerned. Show your focus when you're actively listening to the people that you're talking to. Pause. Repeat the key points. Use facial gestures. Use your hands. And practice. Because the more you practice, the more you'll know. But remember, you're practicing on something you believe in. You're not memorizing word by word. And get as passionate as possible. And remember to enjoy. Because what you're doing, you're connecting with thousands of entrepreneurs to bring them into the university and into the incubator so that they can mentor your students. Good things, when they are short, is twice as good. So value your time, value the listener's time, so you can create this impact straight away and they choose to join the ecosystem. Cool. So what is your story? What is the story we're going to share about the entrepreneurship ecosystem? So remember how we spoke about how do you want to be known when you're not in the room? How do you want people to talk about the incubator and the entrepreneurship program when you're not in the room? What is the story you want people to say? Let's go back to that first task that we did. What is the story you want people to tell about the university and the incubator? So please, I'll give you guys a minute and please pop it in the box so I can hear your ideas around what is the story that we're going to share when people talk about the incubator and the entrepreneurship ecosystem that we're building. Maybe here on top, we had a lot of good ideas, combined all of them into one quick paragraph. Question, your discussion is very interesting. You mentioned that storytelling, focus on one idea. Cool, okay, let me just read this. Mention one idea. How do you effectively tell a story with a diverse audience? Awesome question. Okay, so as much as you can, split the audience. So don't invite the investors, the mentors, and the government into the same meeting. It's better that you put 3 government officials into one meeting and focus on understanding what does the government care about. The government has many problems that they can't solve. Your students are very creative. So if the government funds the projects for your students to solve the government's problem, the government wins and the students win. Strategic. Investors have a lot of money. And maybe an investor really cares about agriculture. So in that message, you're going to highlight the story of your agriculture students, the grades that they're getting, the ideas that they're coming up, the passion towards the problems that they're solving. So stick to one idea and try to run events, social media campaigns, newsletters separate so that you can focus and not distract. Because I love this question that you guys have asked. Telling a story, focus on one idea. If you've got too many audiences, you're just going to confuse them. So especially now that the stories are shared in multiple platforms. Okay, awesome question again. Okay, so when it comes to when it comes to many audiences and multiple channels, look at where, I love these questions, look at where your audience is coming from. So Where are investors? Are investors on TikTok? I don't think many investors are on TikTok, a small percentage. So when you go on TikTok to post a video of the school campus and what the students are creating, you're targeting more students. When you go on Facebook, you're targeting probably small business owners that want to engage and give back. But if you're looking for really big investors and government interactions, most likely they're going to be on LinkedIn. So when you are communicating, you need to understand where is your target audience, what channels are they using, and what words do they want to use. Yes, in your Instagram, in your LinkedIn, in your Facebook, a lot of people are a member of all of these platforms. But different people join different platforms for different reasons. Let's give ourselves as an example. You wake up and you have your breakfast. What do? You scroll through Instagram and Facebook because you're just killing time and you want to just see what's happening in the world with your friends and you just want some positive images. When you show up to your desk, you're not going to be checking Facebook at work. What are you going to be checking? The newspaper, LinkedIn. So can you see, I'm still the same person, but throughout the day, I have different needs. Then in the afternoon, I get home and maybe I want to do a workout and I'm going to turn on YouTube. And then while I'm watching YouTube, as soon as I finish, I can maybe check the Facebook messages and Instagram messages that I received throughout the day. So I'm still the same person, but with different needs, using different channels throughout the day. So if you use a platform like Facebook, which is very popular, is maybe create a Facebook page called Incubator Students, Incubators, Mentors, or Investors. So create different pages where strategic target audiences will join for different reasons. Because unfortunately, it's not all day that you want to have investment news. It's not all day that you want to scroll through Instagram and Facebook. Different times of the day, different audiences have different needs. So when you're telling a story, figure out what your target audience is using throughout the day. What's the best message and the best time? For example, if you guys are going to be posting news about investments, people check their LinkedIns normally on Mondays. A lot of people check their LinkedIn on Sunday nights in preparation for the week. So if you post something on a Sunday and a Monday, a lot of people are going to be reading it. But on Friday, no one's really opening the LinkedIn because Friday they're getting ready for the weekends. And that's when Facebook goes up on Fridays and Saturdays because people are going out and they're posting and they've got more time to do engaging, entertaining things. So to answer your question, let's break it down because this question is amazing and it's got, I think it's 5 questions in one. Storytelling, focus on one idea, always, yes. How do you effectively tell a story to a diverse audience? Different audiences have different needs, so try to funnel the different messages, one message per post, per channel. And how do you use different platforms? Understand where your audience is. Let's see, maybe make a list of the different audiences and you go investor. Where is my investor on a Monday morning? What platform? Where is my investor on a Monday night? Where is my investor on Tuesday at lunchtime? Where is my investor on Friday night? Where's my investor on Sunday? Sunday lunchtime, most likely going to mass and having lunch with the family. Monday, my investor most likely is doing business meetings. So you need to understand what is the best time that they're actually using the platform and they want to consume the content that you're giving them. Because if you post, let's say, I don't know, holiday tips on a Monday, people won't even scroll through it. They'll cancel and they'll log out because they're not thinking of going to Boracay for holidays. It's Monday, they're thinking of work. But if you post something about productivity tips and you're doing a productivity networking event and you want like-minded entrepreneurs to join so you can meet them and then you can invite them to the ecosystem of the university, on a Monday, they'll get excited. They'll be like, this looks really cool. I might go to this tomorrow. So if they see that on maybe LinkedIn, they'll be very excited. But maybe on Monday, they're not opening Instagram and Facebook because they're super focused on work. Does that make sense, guys? So we need to be very strategic on the message, one message one channel, one time per audience. Cool. So next stage. So we understood, let's do a little recap. So we understood that we need to have a very strong message. We need to know who our target audience is and what story are we going to share with one message to one target audience to connect and create a win-win-win situation so that they come in and they join us. Our university and incubator wins, and most importantly, our student wins. And by our students winning, we as a university and the mentors and investors win. So once we've built that, we then start building the community. So I want to show you guys a video that I absolutely love on community building. It's about 2 minutes long, so let's watch it together. The sound is here.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED, we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course, you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
I love this video because it's got many things that we can learn from. Number one is when we're creating a movement, we sometimes feel like we're crazy. Like, okay, I'm going to start speaking to entrepreneurs and invite them to the university. I've never had entrepreneurs coming into my class. But then as soon as entrepreneur 2, 3, 4 start saying yes, they'll have a good experience and they're going to start inviting their own friends to become and join the ecosystem as judges, as speakers, as collaborators, as content creators. So you need to look after not just your message to be able to get the first couple of supporters, but also you need to look after these first supporters so that they can continuously bring in more entrepreneurs to continuously grow your ecosystem. So part of your time as an educator will be not just in disrupting the curriculum, matching it to make it relevant, is bringing in leaders that are relevant to the industry and communicating with them in a way that they will have a good experience and they will understand your message and invite more entrepreneurs to join. Let me see, I've got a few messages. Increase the volume, cool. So, and I'll share this video with you guys in case you guys want to watch it again. And I think this video is very relevant when we are building a business. And also, I'll just see here. And for us to share with the students. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so we have just under 10 minutes left for us to read together. So when we are building a community that we need to engage with using these strategies that we've just learned, remember the first impression really matters. So make a great first impression and straight away connect with them. Ask them for the business card, add them on Facebook, add them on LinkedIn, get their emails, get their phone numbers. Be present and be everywhere. So I love the question you guys were asking about channels. Figure out what channels they're using and make sure that you're posting. So now imagine if all of us together could make one post about entrepreneurship and innovation in our Facebook every day. What would happen? Automatically, all of us would get a lot of momentum and we would be associated with the impact that we are creating. Be consistent. So once you start posting, post every day, and also interact with empathy. As people engage, comment, reply, thank them for sharing, thank them for the comments. And how do we add value to the community? Literally by asking questions. So ask the entrepreneurs that you're inviting, why did you join? What was the highlight of mentoring our students? Which businesses or industries are you planning on investing in? So ask questions, and based on those questions, you can start building new activities that create that win-win-win situation so that your mentors and entrepreneurs win, your students, and also the university. Cool. So for that, we do this activity, which we're not going to do now because this activity takes about 20 minutes. It's called the brand neighborhood. So in this activity, figure out who's your target audience. Are you targeting entrepreneurs in agriculture, in finance, in small businesses, in food, in textile, in sustainability, social entrepreneurship? And figure out these leaders, what networking events do they go to? What brands do they buy from? Where do they live? What newspaper do they read? What is their favorite food? What is their favorite hobby? What's the favorite toy? Is it the phone? Is it the motorbike? Is it the car? Is it the laptop? What is their favorite restaurant? And start getting to know them, because the more you know about your target audience, the more you're going to use those channels and that branding strategy to attract them. Then you're going to have to start negotiating. So you don't have to answer this, just answer in your head, but when was the last time that you negotiated something at work with your boss, a staffer, and a client? When was the last time you negotiated? Just think about when was the last time that you wanted something that you had to negotiate? When was the last time? What strategy did you use? What steps did you use? And how did you get where you wanted? So think about the last time that you wanted something, that you negotiated, that you won. What strategy did you use? Did you talk to them when you know that they were feeling the happiest, or when they had time, or when they weren't stressed? Or did you talk to them when they were the busiest and you knew they were going to say yes because they weren't listening? I've used that strategy many times. When you get someone and you know that if you speak to them at this time, they're going to be moody. But if you speak to them early in the morning, they're super busy going into work and they're going to give you a yes. And then you just thank them and they don't even realize they're giving you a yes. So what are the steps and what did you learn from that strategy? So start understanding how everybody, when we're negotiating, we use a different technique. So these are my favorites when I'm negotiating. Every time I negotiate, I go to win. So I go in with confidence and I already mentalize that I'm going to get what I want. Then I prepare and I prepare and I prepare and I over research. Who am I negotiating? What's this person going to get from it? What's the best time? What should I wear? What time should I talk to them? What language should I speak to them? How do I build a connection when I'm talking to them? How can you listen? Because based on you listening, those key words that they're using, you can repeat those words and connect it to your negotiation. How do you stay flexible? In life, it's not always that we get 100% of what we want. So how can you get what you want, a percentage of what you want, in a way that the other party, the other stakeholder is also getting something? How do you make it a win-win so everybody wins along the way and everybody leaves feeling like they're winning? So for this task, I would like you guys to identify 3 entrepreneurship memberships or networking groups that you would like to join and how they will add value to the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So make a list of 3. It could be 3 Facebook groups. It could be a face-to-face networking event at the Chamber of Commerce or downtown in the council or in the mayor's office. So think of 3 places that you can meet entrepreneurs. And what is the benefit? Why should you go there? What's the strategy behind them? And step number 2, I would like you guys to speak over the next 7 days to 10 entrepreneurs and convince 3 of them to come into the university and the incubator and be mentors. Very simple. We all have friends that are business owners, because when we go to the deli, the bakery, the petrol station, bus stop, everywhere we go, our neighbors, everyone has one business owner in our street that lives there. So speak to 10 entrepreneurs. That means you need to speak to over 1 entrepreneur a day, speak to 10 entrepreneurs over the next week and convince 3 of them to come in and visit your class online or face-to-face for maybe 5 minutes only. So how are you going to talk about what we're doing? How are you going to make it a win-win for them? How are you going to get them excited? How are you going to convince them to come? So speak to 10, and out of the 10, your job is to convince 3 of them to come in and be guest speaker in your next class in the next week. It's very easy. Like we saw in the movement, it feels scary, but it's actually easy, because once you get one, the other one gets another one, and the other one gets another one. And my final activity for you guys, I would like to know from you guys now, in the box, we're now going to start journaling what we're learning. What are the top 3 things you guys learned today? So please put in the box, and I'll give you guys 2 minutes to do it, because we've got only 3 more minutes together. So put in the box here in the chat box, what are the 3 most important things you learned today? And then afterwards, after you've identified these 3, put in the box here in the chat box. I'll put a little happy face so you guys can reply here. After you put here in the box the 3 things you've learned today, how are you going to apply them to your job? Preparation is important. Yes, super important. The more you research, the more you get it right. But, Jumai, be careful with not just over-researching and not action. Research is super important. As long as you research, you make a decision, and you action based on the results of the research. So remember, research with action. Storytelling, yes. Rich, why is storytelling so important? So, top 3 lessons we learned today. How are you going to apply it? So how are you going to be better at storytelling? How are you going to be more prepared before going into a meeting? Focus on one goal, 100%. Focus on one message. Don't ask people for too many things. They're going to get confused. So what are the 3 things we learned today? How are we going to apply them? What are our goals? What are our next 3 goals? And also, what are the 3 things we're grateful for that happened today in our day? So today, just write this one. The other ones, just write down for yourself. These are private. But what are the 3 things we learned today in this hour and a half together? How are you going to apply that from today onwards in your career to create the entrepreneurship ecosystem? What are your next 3 goals? What are you trying to achieve? To bring in a guest speaker every week? To run a hackathon, a pitch competition? To put your students on stage in front of investors? So what are your 3 goals? And what are the 3 things you're grateful for? So this is the task for today. from tomorrow onwards, I want you guys on a daily basis to every day in the morning when you wake up, be grateful for 3 things. Get a little notebook. And in your notebook, when you wake up in the morning, write 3 things you're grateful for, 3 goals you have so you can focus on completing 1 task per goal, and your 3 biggest achievements and results in the last 24 hours. Because once you start building that, you'll have a clear focus on how to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem, because you're being grateful for what you have, you're setting 3 goals for the day, but you're also celebrating 3 wins of the day before. Cool. Let's see what we have here in messages. Wait, my computer's about to die. 1 second, guys. Cool. Empathy, authenticity, purpose, pillars of public relations. Amazing. Be genuine. They could be your future target. 100%, Jamae, 100%. You never know who you're speaking to. Storytelling, public relations, and the audience. Amazing. Cool. So just recapping. So write down the 3 things you learned today, and then set a strategy on how you're going to apply, and what are your goals for the next 7 weeks together. What are your 3 main goals? Then from tomorrow onwards, every day when you wake up, before you make your coffee and your breakfast, write down in your diary 3 things you're grateful for, 3 goals for the day, and your 3 biggest achievements in the previous day. And that way, you're guaranteed to have results, guaranteed. I love this. Takes 20 years to build a reputation, 5 minutes to ruin it. Yes, 100%, Carla, 100%. Cool. Okay. Now we've got a couple of minutes together. If you guys want to turn on your camera, we can take a photo. And I'd love also to know from you guys feedback. How was today's session? I had an hour and a half with you guys. I hope I've taught you guys lots of exciting things. Give me feedback. What else do you guys want to learn? Did I give you guys too much information? Did I speak too fast? Or did I give you guys 100 goals that you guys are going to smash and you're really excited about them? Cool. So please add me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere, because entrepreneurship is about networking. 78% of entrepreneurs succeed because of the network. So it is our responsibility to network with entrepreneurs, to give our new network of entrepreneurs to our students. So please, please, please. Oh, thank you guys for the messages. Branding, reputation, storytelling, and impact. Beautiful. Cool. Awesome. So I will now stop sharing and I'll take a photo of us. Oh, I finally get to see your beautiful faces and smiles. Amazing. Cool, guys. Amazing being here with you guys. I hope this was an amazing first session. This is the beginning of something amazing that we're creating. So first, we're going to be doing these 6 sessions and then the pitch, where you guys are going to pitch and convince us of how you're going to change the world through entrepreneurship. I can see that I've got a hand up here. 1 second. Let me just change the screen. Who has the hand up? Oh, we had a hand up. The hand up disappeared. Cool. Okay, if you want to put your hand up again, you don't even have to put your hand up. You can turn your microphone and you can speak. Cool. Awesome. So let me take a photo of us. 3, 2, 1. Everyone's ready? Smile. Another one. I'll take 4 just in case. Smile. And again, 2 more. 3, 2, 1. Smile. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. Smile. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Cool. Amazing, amazing, amazing meeting you. Add me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So honored to be here with you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys face to face. It's official that I'm allowed to fly to the Philippines and see you guys face to face and create impact. And remember, do things from the heart. You guys are from the Philippines, the most beautiful country in the world with unlimited potential, because you guys are so caring, collaborative, all about community, all about impact. So you guys have something that nowhere else in the world has. Nowhere. So you guys already have an unstoppable resilience and positivity. Now it's just about us communicating with the world on our potential and how we're going to add value by everybody collaborating with us. I can see Rodell here. Hi, Rodell. How are you? What a lovely, I can't hear you. You're on mute. Great to see you, my dear. How are you? Happy New Year. Oh, I can hear you now. Oh, so good to see you.
Thank you. Glad to
You
see
were
you.
very quiet today. It's the first time I see you being quiet.
Yeah. I had
Oh,
training.
oh, so good to see you. Amazing to see you. And you guys next week are going to learn something that Rodell has naturally in him, emotional intelligence. He's positive. He brings positivity out into others, in his team, in the students. And by you figuring out what makes you happy and what is your goal, you end up becoming more productivity, and that rewires you into more positivity. Because when you know who you are and what you love, you focus on getting quick goals, and that makes you happy and will make you happier, and everyone else around you will be happier. So yes, the next 2 sessions you guys have is with Ush, who's a global leader in emotional intelligence. She's one of the best in the world, and she's dying to meet you guys. Like, she's so excited. So yes, and hopefully you guys can convince her together with me for her to come to the Philippines with us when I go in April. So we need to have her live, say, oh, Ush, I heard you're coming with Paula to the Philippines, because I know she wants to go. Cool, guys. Happy Thursday. Big, big, big hugs with lots of love. And I can't wait to see you guys soon. Big hugs, lots of love. See you guys. Ciao. Bye-bye.